All right. Good morning and good afternoon, everybody. I'm Derek Lukowitz, and I'd like to welcome you to our special partner event showcasing Celigo's integration solution. Joining me today are Jay from the Donnis Group, as well as Caroline, Eric, and Kelly from Celigo. Before we get things started, I'd like to manage a couple of quick housekeeping items. First, we are recording today's presentation, so I've placed everybody in mute so that we can eliminate any background noise. But you still have the ability to interact with us by asking questions through the tool, through the GoToMeeting interface, as well as raising your hand and so forth. So feel free to jump in there with any questions that you've got throughout the course of the presentation. We've set aside some time on the back end to make sure we answer all of those, so don't be shy. Second, you should have all received your Grubhub voucher. If you're new to our presentations, you would have received a welcome email from Grubhub with instructions on setting up your account with the email that you provided to us. If you've been with us before, then the voucher would just show up in that account for you to utilize. Please make sure to use it today, as it's only good for 24 hours. So they've got some restrictions as it relates to that. Okay, housekeeping aside. So let's go ahead and take a quick peek at today's agenda. I'm doing some introductions right now. From here, I'm going to hand things off to Jay to discuss with you who the Donnis Group is. From there, we will hand things over to Eric to do a quick overview of Celigo. He will then hand over to Kelly to do the demonstration, the moment you all have been waiting for. And then we'll go ahead and manage all of your questions at that point, go over some next steps, and get you guys back on your day. So from that, I'm going to go ahead and hand things over to Jay.
Okay. Thank you, Derek. Thank you, everyone, for attending today. Since 1996, the Donnis Group has been working with a wide variety of customers in many industries, including manufacturing and distribution. We attribute our longevity to our commitment to staying current with technologies as well as certifications. This has allowed us to support and service our customers' ERP and technical needs and develop long-term relationships. We have joined forces with Acumatica and Celigo to bring state-of-the-art ERP software and tools that integrate with a multitude of applications. That's a little introduction to the Donnis Group, and now I will pass this off over to Eric and take it away.
All right, thank you, Jay. Let me make sure I've got the proper monitor shared here. Give me just a moment, as I'm kind of new to this tool. Here we go. Okay, good. All right. Can you confirm, Jay? Are you seeing the landing page here for the deck?
Yes, I do. Yes, I see it.
Thank you very much. And again, thanks everyone for joining us, and thanks for allowing us to spend some time with you this afternoon on your lunch break, as it were. And without further ado, because I'm sure what's going to be most interesting and compelling for you is to actually see our iPaaS platform, integrator.io. So I'll kind of give you a little background here with Celigo as we go, and as Derek and Jay shared. It's Eric. I'm Eric Creek. Sorry, I'm a channel sales manager working with the Donnis Group. Kelly Eisers, our senior solutions consultant, and he'll be presenting to you an overview of the tool itself. And then Caroline has actually worked to help put all this together for us. Not mentioned here, but I wanted to definitely give her a shout out. So without further ado, our agenda, as expected, we've covered intros a couple times, so we've got that. I'm going to just give you kind of an overview of Celigo, kind of where we are now, what our vision is, and kind of a high view of our tool, and then we'll transition over to Kelly, and he'll give you a little more look and feel, and hopefully we'll have some time at the end for any questions that you may have. So just getting us kicked off here. Celigo, we're a successful iPaaS company. We're designed to serve the unique needs of really the mid-market, including the right product, the right business model, and of course the right partners here we have with the Donnis Group as an example. We have more than 4,000 customers globally, including some of the biggest and most recognizable brands in the mid-market, as you see on the screen here. We have we're actually currently supporting more than 40,000 active business processes, which we're pretty proud. We've grown to that level, as well as almost 500 employees deployed across 6 global offices. Just prepares us to effectively and better support our customers worldwide. And as you see, there's a little mention here at the bottom with some of the branding, the tags, and the logos that we're proud to share. That we've gotten a lot of support and accolades from peer-driven, client-driven, and even technology reviewers that have given us these reviews, and we're proud to demonstrate that and share in that, and to have achieved that for that matter. So, as I'm sure what's brought you here today is kind of twofold. Looking at Acumatica, working with the Donnis Group, and then as this demonstration was intended, to dealing with any integrations you may need. So, as you think about that, how are we going to automate these processes? We do that kind of in a thoughtful way. This slide is just kind of more for your consideration. Something that is really more intended, not for me to read these bullet points, but just to encourage kind of an internal kind of dialogue around the discovery of related to these questions. You can see that it's categorized between technical and business challenges, and oftentimes those can overlap. Sometimes these challenges are brought up by the respective areas or departments, but the reason why I bring all that up is because that we've had both sides of these categories in mind with the development of our platform, and hopefully I'll be able to kind of communicate to that in the ensuing couple of slides, and Kelly will be able to demonstrate that to you. So, we lead with our kind of top line business value. We enable the entire organization to become more agile and really accelerate the business value. These are really mid-market staple values. The desire to add new revenue streams quickly, to improve operational efficiency, driving down cost, providing visibility to business metrics, so more real-time decisions can be made. And again, our platform, it's really been designed to meet the unique experience of those 2 different categories. We have a simple, intuitive interface to accelerate line of business users, getting them ramped up and using the platform. And the platform also has available powerful developer tools that enable more of your IT power user to customize complex integrations and process automations, rather quickly. We deliver on kind of with our vision, we deliver on 3 main business values. Enabling the integration of any business application to any other business application. We automate business processes end to end using embedded business logic. We are the only iPaaS company to actually do this. And also, just kind of as a note, the more business processes you automate, the more leverage and exponential value you really get from our platform. It offers opportunities for code reuse, process learning from other automations, both custom and pre-built applications. And this we found just really accelerates that digital transformation company-wide. Looking at that a little more closely as how Celigo delivers on these 3 values, just want to kind of illustrate, how we've, with our vision, how we've attempted to achieve that. These are really the core values that make our solution different. We have a business process automation development workspace that meets the unique requirements, again, both of the tech-savvy line of business user and sophisticated IT user. We have over 200 out-of-the-box connectors that business users can use to fast start a business process automation. Common flows that we've really based them on experiences that we've had, as best practice recommendations, and you can also customize your specific requirements via our platform. We are the only iPaaS vendor with pre-built business process automations as well. These are for common business processes that every mid-market company follows. We have pre-programmed the automations so that you can select the hub applications and then configure any number of associated spoke applications. And last but not least, the Celigo platform is really designed for self-service. The line of business users can self-serve their ongoing support needs. They can change, they can add, they can enhance their business process without requiring a lot of IT resource to get that done. Whereas on the flip side, we again do have that development environment available for the more IT power user, while recognizing, enterprise grade governance, for example, GDPR, SOC 2, California privacy, they're all accounted for in our tool. And just as you begin to automate and go through the whole experience of a digital transformation, looking a little bit more closely as to how Celigo supports and enables for this kind of fast and but reliable, really transformation. We do that by way of having that in mind with our tool. As companies advance their digital transformation programs, the need to automate business process expands into really every department and across those departments. But through that experience, we found as customers have come to us that processes don't always work as expected as a result. For example, data integrity becomes more challenging. Error detection is difficult. Demand on IT resources to support, that transformation process exceeds capacity. Compliance to company security and privacy standards, they're constantly at risk. And, we found that we need a way to deal with this for the benefit of our customers. Our iPaaS platform not only provides the integrations necessary to automate these business processes and advance really that digital transformation effort, but includes the monitoring tools which offer a maintenance-free experience while still alerting the stakeholder if there is something to check on or be concerned with. As I kind of alluded to, Celigo's worked and really documented for future users a myriad of pre-built connectors and templates, which really enables the expedition of integration adoption for really a smoother digital transformation experience. And as Celigo works with additional business applications, we continue to document that for the benefit of future users. Providing kind of a jump start, getting you up and running faster with your automation and the integration use cases. This results in really less development time to be up and running and a faster realization of return on investment and that ultimate goal of process automation, digital transformation. And, I know that I had kind of mentioned this earlier, you saw it on one of the earlier slides, but again, we're just really proud of what our customers, what our peers have reviewed us as, and the accolades that we've achieved, in these past number of years. And I encourage you to please, feel free to go to our website if you want to learn a little bit more, even if you want to sign up for a free account where you can build, kind of explore and experience any of these tools that I've mentioned or that Kelly will now be sharing with you.
All right, thank you. So let me go in here and share my screen now. All right, so you should now be seeing our integration platform called Integrator.io. So what I'm going to do today is I'm just going to walk through our platform, show how it can be really used to integrate, Acumatica and really any system you may need out there. First and foremost, Integrator.io is a tool. It's an iPaaS platform that can be used to integrate anything to anything. So what we've done is we've tried to position it such that a tech-savvy business user can get in here. You can develop on the tool. Also, once integrations have been developed and deployed, management of those integrations can be passed into either a non-developer or a junior developer in order to manage and maintain that going forward and such. Once it is set up and configured, really it's meant to act kind of like the breaker box in your house. It's just going to run in the background, process the data as defined by the integration flows that need to be developed. If there are any exceptions or errors or such, you'll see our tool does have error management built into it. Those can be grabbed, and I'll drill into this momentarily and show that error message. But we have error and exception management. It'll catch that. That can be pushed to your inbox, that you'll get alerted, and then you can jump in and address the issue as necessary. We also have connection management, meaning prior to processing the data, we first ping an endpoint, make sure it's online. If it is not, then we will queue up that data until the connection comes back online. That way we make sure that there's no data loss due to a downed endpoint on either end. And then from this main dashboard, you can see if I scroll through here, these integration tiles are just like a folder in a filing cabinet. They're just ways to keep integration flows neat and orderly. And also give you a high level snapshot on how things are going within an environment. So like for this demo account here, I can log in and quickly see how things are going within these different integrations, connections offline. If everything is functioning well, you'll get the nice green success notification, errors and such. So that's a quick snapshot there. Down the left-hand side, a user can quickly jump into our flow builder, which I am going to go into in more depth here momentarily. And that's where it basically allows us to build out integrations from anything to anything. Our data loader tool, which allows a user to upload data directly from your local computer or network drive, and then build out an integration flow to post that data somewhere. When building out integrations, we have what we call our dev playground. This is where we can come in and basically we have like a little playground area where as integrations are being built out, you can come in here and see what is going to be generated. There's my template, for example, and then I could change this as necessary. So we can post all that together. Everything within Integrator IO is stored as individual components that a user does have access to. So you can have your connections. And because it's an iPaaS platform, I can have connections into multiple different environments, right? So that's why you can see I have these multiple Acumatica accounts, some of which are offline. I have my one that is online, and I have multiple here. So you can see that. You've got your import, which will show you data going into an application. Exports, whereas the data is coming out of an application. Scripting, so our tool does have a built-in JavaScript editor as well. So those scripts can be applied to integration flows, which allows us to really make sure that the data is going to be in the correct format or the correct logic has been applied as we're processing data. We can support on-premise applications with our on-prem agent. We do have a My API section, which our tool will allow users to build APIs and such. We have a very robust help center. So if I click on that link there, you'll see it takes us into our help center, which then we have thousands of articles in here that are searchable. So if you have any questions there around how to work with the platform, you can go through the knowledge base, search for questions and answers. Our What's New section, we're always enhancing the tool itself. As we do those enhancements, we will roll out those hot releases, meaning there's never any downtime for us to do updates to our platform. Those are hot releases, so we'll push out updates. Those will go live and no downtime to the end user. Then we do have a support team built around the platform as well, accessible here via the ticketing system. So this is where if a user has any issues or questions or such, you can submit a ticket and then get a response from our support team. Here we have a Celigo University, which is a learning management system around the entire platform. So a user can come in here, go through different contents, live sessions that we have, like our own live webinars and such will be listed here. So What you'll see, basically what you can tell from all this is we have a very robust network around the platform to help make users and developers of the platform successful. So all that to help us build out integration flows. So what you see here, again, these different integration tiles represent integrations we've built out between these different platforms. Now, to get started, we can create a new integration tile. So I can give it a name. Now, when I save that, when I first drops me into this integration, it's a blank slate. There's nothing in here. So this is where we can use our flow builder tool I was highlighting previously. We can select create flow. What that's going to do is it opens up our flow builder, and it's a blank slate right now. There's nothing in there. So we can go give it a name. Then our tool says, where do we want to get data from? This is where when you add source, we have the ability to connect directly to databases. We have our universal adapters, which really allows us to connect anything to anything here. If we open that up, past that, what we've done is we went through developer documentation on many of the most common apps out there that we've come across, and we've built, you see here it says connectors. These are basically like assistants that help a user when working with these applications. They've taken the developer documentation, turned the API calls into sort of drop-down menus. So as you work with those applications, you don't necessarily need the developer documentation open as you work with them. So you can see I can scroll through here. The list is quite long on what we have available there. So I can just scroll through. Now, if you don't see a system listed, that's not a problem. That just means we use one of your universal adapters here, such as the HTTP REST. If we work with the FTP endpoint, that's how we can support flat files like CSV imports, EDI type integrations and such through our FTP connector and such. So that's how we can pull in data. So maybe here we want to come in and say, I want to get data from Acumatica. I'd select Acumatica. If it's the first time we're connecting, the tool will guide a user through setting up that connection. Right? Do you want to use the OAuth 2 method? Do you want to use the cookie-based authentication method? So we can support both of those. Once a connection's set up, they can be reused. There we go. Then we can reuse existing flows if necessary, or we can build our own as necessary. So what you'll see is that then says, okay, great, I'm getting data from Acumatica. If we open this up, this is where I was saying with the assistants, we turn the APIs and sort of the web service endpoints into drop-down menus. You can see we can support different versions, and we do go through the versioning process with the Acumatica team there to make sure that our platform is always up to date and current. Then here you see you have access to all endpoints there within your Acumatica environment. So regardless of what sort of use case you're looking to integrate or support here, we can build out the flows to interact there, like Acumatica with Jira if you needed to do some case management or such. You can get to your financial records, expense reports. So if we were going to do concur integrations and such, you can do expense claims, expense receipts, and you have access to all of these different endpoints. So you can see it should just about cover all of your web service endpoints there that may be enabled within that Acumatica environment. So then once you select the action, then you can do the operation. Do I want to list all customers? Do I want to retrieve a specific customer? So if I say list all customers, then you can also open it up and expand parameters. So do I want to add filters in? Do I need to expand some attribute on that Acumatica record as it's being exported? We can set that accordingly here. So that then if I click preview, you'll see our tool is actually going to execute that query. Behind the scenes, what we're doing is we're basically building that API call for you, which then returns the data from those records as specified by the integration flow here. We can export or define how to export the data. We can either take all records. You can do like here, you see I did Delta where I only wanted records that have changed. We also have some advanced functionality here. So for around paging, so we can set up paging. For any export or import that we set up, we also create an API for that, which is accessible, and we can take that from there. So now that you have that defined, we can then, if necessary, we can transform the data. So as the data is processed, we can transform it, make sure it's formatted properly. We can filter it. So here, maybe we want to filter and say, great, I only want it where the ID, and then you have your Boolean operators, starts with, and then what E. And I'm looking at this field right here is what I'm looking at. Or I could say EC. If I preview it, this record would be processed. So if I change this to say, ER, this record would not be processed. So you can add in filters, and you can add in multiple filters if necessary and such. This is also where if we need to apply JavaScript, we can add in scripting. So here, let me pick one. And then you can see here, it's a full-blown JavaScript editor. So we can take that, apply it accordingly in order to put that logic on the data as it's processed. But now, once I have that set, I can then take that and post it wherever I want to go with it. If I want to go out to, a particular endpoint, Jira, or if I want to take that and post it to like a SQL database, I can select the endpoint and say, great, I want to take that data and post it anywhere I want here to set that up. So what this can then look like is if I back out a bit, I'm going to go out here and let me just pick one of my integrations here. Here it is. And I was using this one because I had it open earlier today. But this is what an integration may look like after it's been built out. So you can see we've sort of built out integration endpoints to move whatever data we want, like items to products or customers to customers, orders to orders and such. And then if we open these up, if I click in here, let me just go in a little bit further. So here you can see, like in this case, I worked with this endpoint and I went in, in this case, it was a WooCommerce site. I went to the API for customers. I said, I want to retrieve a specific customer, right? And if I look over here and I go in, you can see I'm just using this customer record here. If I click in, this is customer, this is customer ID number 3, and then you can see all the data is populated here, first name, last name, Jimmy Woo. We can have his address and information there. So we can select that. When we preview that, you'll see here's all that customer information that was exported out. There's Jimmy Woo, there's his billing address, shipping address, is he a paying customer? Whatever's provided by that API endpoint. Once we take that out, you can see, like here in this case, we applied a filter. So as I got it out, I only wanted the records where our date timestamp, last export time, is less than the current modified date. That way we only get modified records. Then we can take that, and in this case, I said I want to go into Acumatica. So this is where I'm doing an import to Acumatica. I said I want to go into the system, and I'm going to do a create or update function. So it's that easy to define the actual operation that will be performed. Now, as I post into Acumatica, here's our field mapping. So this is where you can see we've got access to all the different fields that may be available there on that record. And you see these grayed out ones. These we know these are required fields for that record that have to be populated. If those are not populated, the tool would generate an error and it wouldn't accept it. So hence you'll see we have those locked and those are required. Now you'll see here you have the hard-coded values. We also have the ability to do what we call multi-field, which are field level functions. So you see like this is a join statement. We join it with a space and we join the first name and last name. If I open up the settings icon, this is where you can see that can be defined. Do we want to hard code it, multi-field, and then we have a whole list of field level functions that can be used so that we can build whatever statement is necessary there. You got if-else statements. We have your general arithmetic, add, subtract, multiply, divide. We have your regex expressions here. So, we have tools necessary to make sure the data is formatted properly as it moves from one application to another. We can add in any additional field there. So you can see here from the scroll bar, we have access to all the fields there that are available on that Acumatica record. So whether it's customer record, whether it's a sales order record, whether it's a project record, whatever it may be, we have access to all those endpoints. So again, customer, lead, purchase orders, whatever you may need to get to, we have those objects available there, and that can be used to map to whatever and build that out. So then what you can see is we define the mapping. If I go over here real quick, let me go to sales orders, customers. And then you can see if I search on this customer right now, currently does not exist within the environment. So what you'll see is as these flows are executed, I can now select run now. And what that's going to do is that's actually going to execute that integration flow. And I can expand this. And again, this is a lot like the breaker box. Again, the user does not have to watch this. I'm just doing it for demo purposes. But you'll see within the tool, we do give you the ability to see, exactly what's going on. We retrieved one record. We then went in, we imported it into the Acumatica environment. There were no errors and such. So now if I go back over here to Acumatica and let's search again, there's that record that's now been created. If I open it up, you can see based off the mapping I had there, address information's been populated, customer ID, and then we can set any additional information we may need to, on the record here as we pass it through. So, that's how we can move that data. So you have your dashboard. If I back out of here, you now see at a flow level. So now if I back out, you see I have all of these different integration flows set up. Again, here's my dashboard. So this is where you can see which flow ran at what time, how many records were processed. This is where you can have individual connection management. Those notifications I was referring to. So if you want to be notified of errors or exceptions, that's where this can be viewed. So you can set it up. Do you want to have notifications for all flows, or maybe you only want to be notified of select events like, hey, I only want to know if the WooCommerce order import fails. You can selectively choose which flows. Same concept with the connections. Do you want to know if a connection's offline? You have that ability. You have the ability to add additional users into your integration. So if I were to select new user, so if let's say we've hired a new staff member internally, I can come in here, add them into the tool by putting their email address in, and then select, what do I want them to do? Do I want to manage integrations, monitor? I can do a hybrid manage or monitor option there. So you can have additional users within the tool. We have audit logs available. So this will show, any changes made to the integrations at a field level. So if somebody changed a value, it'll show you at what time. And it can set all of that. That way, as a platform to develop on, you have all the resources here to either support your own integrations, or if you're building out integrations for customers and such, you have access to manage that. You have everything you need right here to, successfully support that integration. Now, let's say that you are building out integrations and you want to redeploy them. So like, for example, that WooCommerce integration that I had there, let's say I put in 40 hours to build this out. Now I said, okay, geez, that was for customer A. I need to redeploy this for a new customer. Number one, I could take this entire integration and clone it, so I can make like a V2. Now, when I clone it, it's going to say, okay, great, let's clone this integration. Then it'll ask me for the credentials to the new endpoint. So if I was cloning this for, like customer B, I'd say, okay, I want to take all those flows and mappings, I want to clone them, and then I'd point it to customer B's Acumatica instance, customer B's WooCommerce instance, and then it would clone all those flows for me, and then I just have to confirm the mappings, the individual mappings to the fields for client B. So it's very easy to quickly come in here, and then you can see if I completed that, I'd then have a new integration tile for that cloned instance. The other thing that we do to help facilitate, jump-starting integrations between these different platforms, like you see here, Amazon, Shopify, Jira, HubSpot, whatever you may need, is in our marketplace. If you come out here to Acumatica, you'll see, and this is what I think Eric was showing earlier, this is where you can see we already have many of these templates available. So a user can quickly jump in here, say, great, I need that Jira and Acumatica integration. You'll see we already have templates around like the projects, issues, and time endpoints there. So if a user were to say, I need that, we can select preview. The tool is going to show the user what flows would be installed. When you select install now, nice little disclaimer. Again, the tool's going to ask you, all right, what Acumatica instance am I connecting to? I can select my existing one here. I'll say, great, what Jira integration am I connecting to? So I can give it a new name, or I could use my existing one. Then when I install this, I can now rename this. So like here, GG demo. So if I wanted to rename the entire one, now I've already got these flows installed. So now I can just jump in here. I could edit the mappings as necessary. If these are batch-based flows, this is where we have our scheduler to say, great, for this, Acumatica project to Jira Cloud project, I want it to run every hour. I can specify start and end times. I can also specify days of the week I want it to execute. So I can quickly set that. Of course, for any batch-based flow, you can also run those on demand at any time by selecting the run now, which would kick that off. But now if I come back out to my main dashboard, you then would see there's that integration tile that I just installed from the marketplace. So hence that's another way that we help facilitate quicker development times and cycles by providing those templates, the ability to clone integrations that have already been built and such. So, but that's it. That is Celigo's Integrator IO platform and how it can be used to help facilitate integrations really between Acumatica and any endpoint environment out there you may want to have built out between Acumatica and some other endpoint. So with that, thank you. If there's any questions, I'd be glad to take those. I think we can post them in the question section. Otherwise, I'm going to turn it back over to Eric. Are you going to close it up, or should I pass it back to Derek here?
I think there you go. Yeah, you go. Yeah.
So yeah, actually, so while I'm getting myself rescheduled, what the heck happened there? Sorry about that. There we go. So yeah, while I've got you guys here, real quick, there's a couple of handouts in the handouts area, just some product information as well as a interesting a customer case study that the Celigo team had forwarded to us to share with you guys. We did get a couple of questions in the Q&A monitor, so I will queue these up, and feel free to continue to add them as you go. So yeah, so we'll start with the first one. How is the product licensed or sold?
Eric, I'm the tech guy. I'm gonna let Eric answer the pricing questions.
I think simply put, we're really, our pricing is based on the number of endpoint business applications that you're trying to integrate and then the number of flows. So just generally speaking, that's what it's based on.
Okay. Cool. It's funny, you're coming out of different, there's so many different licensing and different models out there. When we first started working with Acumatica, right, that was a pretty unique licensing situation too, right? It went from, number of seats or users to no actual transactions kinds of thing. So there can definitely be some confusion around some of that stuff these days. So totally.
Sure. And just kind of as a quick follow up on the answer to that question, feel free if you go to our website, we're very transparent. You can look on that front page and go into our iPass drop down, and you'll be able to see you'll have visibility as to the actual pricing that in regards to that.
Okay, great. So the next question here is, if I have a third-party software solution that is not in the list of existing connectors, you showed how we could do that, but what if we needed more technical assistance beyond what we learned in the university?
Yeah, we have different options to support that. Number one, every week on Tuesdays and Thursdays, myself and a couple of our other solution architects host an open office hours. Basically, we're averaging about 10 to 12 attendees every session that comes in. And basically, we just allow you to ask questions. Like if you're trying to set it up and just have a quick question, we try to help give some guidance there. So that's a free service we offer. Number two, we can do a paid engagement, like an advisory project with Celigo, where basically we come in and help you build out an integration, sort of work hand in hand with you. To help that way, get you a little bit of one-on-one to help answer any questions or kind of show you how to build out an integration if you have questions. And then we also have a very robust partner network around the platform. We can put you in contact with a partner who's already certified and trained extensively, or Celigo. We offer our own professional services as well. So we have a lot of options there around getting that question answered, or just getting an integration flow built out for a partner or your customer or client.
Right. Well, like you were showing, like there was a support, like even just within the app, right? So if somebody's, it seems like there's a pretty robust network of ways to help people through those situations. So definitely not like you're operating without a net there, So.
Correct. Yes.
Absolutely. All right. Excellent. So are there any limitations or restrictions on the type of data that can be connected? That's a good question.
No, as long as there's an API endpoint, we can move whatever data is available there.
All right. Doesn't matter like size of database or anything?
It does not. Nope. Okay. We'll move, awesome. Integrator IO is never going to be your bottleneck. We'll move the data as quickly as the API endpoints will allow it. So we'll just process the records and keep moving them until they've been consumed based off the API call.
Nice. No hourglass shape there, huh?
Correct.
Excellent. Okay. Oh, last question here is, so do we buy direct from Celigo, or is that something we need to go through a partner like Donnis for?
I have a feeling Kelly paused there because he was allowing me to answer that one.
Pricing, I don't know how you're positioning this, Eric. How are we buying?
Well, we do have a very close relationship not only with our partners in the Donnis Group, but we also work with Acumatica themselves very closely. So depending on what your needs are, there are a couple of different ways to go about looking for a subscription to meet your needs. So really, I would just encourage you to reach out to the Donnis Group, and we can all work together as to the best way to kind of price that out for you. First we'd want to understand the use case, and then present you with the best pricing for that, if that makes sense.
Right, and we would coordinate with Celigo as well as Acumatica to get the correct pricing and direction to go in.
Absolutely.
All right, excellent. All right, that was the end of the questions, it looks like. So let's just kind of move things forward. So yeah, so next steps, right? Obviously, if you want to do some more customized demos or discovery on how we can utilize the solution in your environment, please feel free to reach out to us. Obviously, subscribe to our newsletters. So whether it's Donnis Group or Celigo, we've got some great content out there. We have we do a bi-weekly newsletter, and we do a lot of blog content based off of current topics and a lot of original thought process around that stuff versus just stuff that's kind of out there. So please feel free to check donnis.com pretty regularly for that content, and obviously stay tuned for more of these events. We do pretty regular Acumatica content, as well as a lot of our ISV partners that have solutions around those running software like Celigo here. So definitely stay in tune for that. And with that, thank you very much for your afternoon, for this hour. Hopefully you enjoyed this content and it was a good use of your time. If you have any other questions that afterwards, please feel free to reach out to me. You've got my email address. That's dlokowitz@donnis.com. I was the one that was bugging you this morning about the reminder. So feel free to reach out, and I hope you guys enjoyed your lunch. Thanks much.